Okay, friends, let me turn that off. Everybody can hear me, right? Thumbs up, nodding. Okay, cool. If you guys are tuned in and present, drop a little hello or say hi to your team, give somebody a shout out. Maybe it's their first time tuning into one of these Team Zooms, our Slay Squad webinar. How are you guys liking these? Do you all love them? Hopefully they're super valuable and you're getting tons and tons of info. Good. Love, love, love to hear that. So I like participation. It makes me feel like you guys are listening. I know you are, but you know how it is. It's like sometimes you're talking and you're like, is this thing on? But if you guys have questions as I'm talking, please drop, don't hesitate. I know that sometimes also it's cool to see Zoom members answering one another's questions. So if you guys have call in for audio, yes, we do have a call in for audio. Let me grab it and I'll drop it in the chat. Let's see here. Hopefully that came through. So if you guys need to share that info, you can pass it along. But super excited to share with you all, and I'm glad that you're all finding these helpful and valuable. My name's Stephanie Chico, and I am the co-founder of Team Fitspiration. I've been a coach for a little over 6 years now, which is crazy. I always say that. I feel like we all say that. Once it's been a few years, you're like, wow, where'd the time go? But you guys, I have loved just about every part of my journey as a coach, right? I think that there are things that we're like, that's not my favorite, but we learn, and those things make us stronger. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but mainly our call topic for tonight is leveling up your leadership no matter what your rank is. And I know that word leadership, it's got this connotation that sort of draws up this fear inside of us, especially when you're a newer coach. I remember hearing leader call or leadership. And I'm like, as a brand new coach in my first few months to my first year as a coach, I was like, I'm not a leader. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. So don't put me down for that leadership thing. But I think that there's a misconception about leadership that it is required and helpful at any level of your business. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not like that slides coach. I hope that's okay. I'm just going to talk to you guys. There's not going to be slides. I don't know. I wish I was better with that kind of stuff, but I'm not. So take notes, ask questions, anything like that. So to give you guys a little backstory, when I was a brand new coach, I had signed up after a few months of being in a challenge group. So I got started, and side note, maybe you guys have heard this story before, but my coach was really, really nice to me because I was like, I don't really want to do Shakeology. I have these other shakes that I'm going to drink, and I don't want to buy a Beachbody workout program because I already have Jillian Michaels 30-Day Shred. Maybe you guys remember that. I was like the jam back then. So I was doing those things, and she let me into her challenge group. So nice of her. And I ended up purchasing Brazil Butt Lift, and we actually did have an old copy of P90X back from when my husband bought it on an infomercial. So we had one of those laying around too, and I tried that. That wasn't probably the perfect program for a girl who had just had 3 babies in 3 years, but I dabbled a little bit in that one and really, really loved Brazil Butt Lift. Finally did order Shakeology from her, and I brought all my friends to her challenge group. So I was the best challenger, dream challenger. I brought all my friends. She had all this referral business from me, and she kept saying, you need to be a coach. So in my personal life, you guys, I was pretty much a mess. Like I had just mentioned, just had 3 kiddos in 36 months, which I don't know how we did it. Don't ask me because I pretty much blacked out and I don't remember anything. So it was a crazy time in our life. And with all that being said, physically, obviously my body had been through the ringer. I could barely recognize myself physically. I needed to figure this out and get myself back to me. You know, that feeling for any moms here, it's I wanted to reclaim my body and have it be myself again. So, and then on the other side of things for us financially, we had just lost our house. We had short sold our house, right? We first of all built a house on a golf course in 2008. If you guys know the year 2008, it was not really the greatest time to be buying a house or trying to sell a house in the next couple of years. And we did. We tried to sell our house probably I think it ended up being 3 years later when the market was awful. And we ended up having to short sell because we could not afford to keep our mortgage and pay our rent while we were living in Arizona and our home was in Florida. So that was really, really hard for us and a big hit to our pride. If anybody has been through something like that, you totally know how that feels. Like it sucked, to go through that. And my husband was a professional baseball player and he didn't have any more job opportunities. That's just kind of how it is when you get to that certain level. It becomes a business and it becomes politics and all of these things. And we were just in it. Like all of this stuff hit us all at once, like 3 kids back to back. We had just moved. We had just sold our house. Neither of us had jobs. We hadn't gone to college, or we went to college but didn't finish. So neither of us had degrees. I had no resume. My husband had baseball on his resume. Like that was it for his whole life. And I had been a stay-at-home mom for years. So we had no idea what to do, right? Let me just make sure. We had no idea what to do. And we were in a lot of trouble financially, personally. Our marriage suffered. We had no friends at that time in our life because things were just bad. So long story short, when I got started in coaching, I was ready to go all in. So when I got started, it was like, this was do or die. This was life or death. And it sounds cheesy and maybe a little bit much, like a little intense, but that's how it was for me. It was like my husband needed to deal with the loss, like grieve the loss of this love of his life, which was baseball. He had literally done this for his whole entire life. And I was kind of waiting for him to like go get a job and figure it out. And I finally figured that, you know what, I can do this. I had seen my friend who turned into my coach, start building her coaching business. And I watched her from the sidelines, like buy a double jogging stroller, for her 2 kiddos. And we all know how expensive those things are. And she paid cash for it. And I just thought, okay, wow, that's relevant in my life. So swerve there too. Make sure you're sharing those like small/large victories, those things that like your Beachbody paycheck can pay for. Share that, because I know that we want to be like, well, I'll share once we buy our house or once we pay off our car or once we pay off all of our credit card debt. But like those small things like paying for your groceries and paying for a double jogging stroller, whatever, those things are relevant to people. So with all that said, when I came into coaching, I was ready. I needed this to happen. I needed this to happen for my family and for myself. And I sort of dabbled at first, I was kind of like that pretty good, but also not like huge rock star coach coming into the business. I hit Emerald in my first 3 weeks. I decided that before my 90-day mark, I wanted to be a diamond coach. And that was, you guys, I signed up in October, hit Emerald that month, hit Success Club, October, November, and then December, it was like all the wheels fell off. My kids were sick. I was that coach with those excuses like, wow, December is really hard. I'm busy with my kids. It's Christmas. It's all this stuff. And I didn't hit Success Club that month, but I went into January almost at my 3-month mark. And I was like, I'm ready to flip the switch. And I knew it was time for me to level up. And so that very, very long intro into this topic is kind of where I was at. And I needed that to happen. So needless to say, on the 88th day of my coaching journey, I hit diamond. And so I made it by the skin of my teeth. That was just a personal goal. It wasn't like there was anything on the line or anything, but for me, that was everything. I set that date on the calendar and I knew that I needed to do the work, both mentally and like in my inbox, to make that goal happen. So, I mean, I feel like that's kind of relevant, whether you're a new coach, whether you're an Emerald, whether you're a diamond, wherever you're at in your business, there is opportunity for you to say, okay, here's my next goal. What do I need to do to get there? So all of these things that I'm going to talk about, you guys, are things that you can start implementing and doing and adjusting your mindset and your perspective so that you are adjusted and ready to level up, because nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And I saw that in my own business. I was like, well, I can keep kind of skating through, and at this rate, I'll sponsor, a couple coaches every 2 months, or I can go all in, balls to the wall, for lack of a better term, and just do the dang thing. And that's what I did. So I want to talk a little bit about things in terms of now, because social media is a little bit different now than it was 6 years ago for us coaches. Everything, first of all, I mean, I had an Instagram, but I don't think we really used it for business stuff. So probably used it, but it wasn't great. And now that's really like, I think all of us can agree, that's like the bread and butter. Like that's the money spot right there. That Instagram is awesome. Oh, you guys, the sound keeps cutting out. Okay, bear with me. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully everything's okay though. Okay, cool. Hopefully the recording's smooth. So if you guys miss anything, you can come back and circle back. So number one, have a plan. So this is easy. Like you can be a brand new coach and have a plan. Okay, good. Thank you guys for letting me know. Sound is good. Have a plan always. This is whether you're a brand new coach, you can be 4 months in, you can be a year in and decide, okay, I'm flipping the switch now. I'm going to have a plan going forward. Always have a date set for your challenge group and your sneak peek. Maybe you're a brand new coach and the way that your team rolls is that you and your upline run your challenge groups and your sneak peeks together. That's fine. Know when those dates are. And if you're kind of like, well, I've been in a challenge group, I've seen how the sneak peeks work, and you think maybe it's time to level up to your next level and not necessarily wait for your upline to post those things and run those things. Because let's be honest, coaches or new coaches, potential coaches are going to really like be attracted to your face in that sneak peek group and your face and your name popping up in that challenge group as the coach. And that's really how we didn't really have sneak peeks way back when, but things like that. I wanted to make a video and like do these things so that my potentials could see my face in my challenge group and, you know, any what is coaching webinars, things like that. I wanted to be the one with, sorry, you guys, I don't know what's happening. Let me just make sure everybody's muted. I get like super ADD, but I promise I won't lose my spot. Okay, hopefully that mutes everybody. So always know when your dates are on the calendar. Know your goals and what you need. So when I was a new coach, to put it in perspective, like I knew that I wanted to hit diamond. So what I did was all of the customers who had helped me hit Success Club the past couple months, I reached back out to them. Hey, so-and-so, your Shakeology is about to ship. Just like this morning on the National Wake Up Call, you guys, she had some awesome tips kind of along the same lines. Like your Shakeology is about to ship here pretty soon. Let's get you set up with the 25% off. And honestly, you guys, some of the people who I knew personally, like friends and family members, I even said like, hey, let me level with you. Like I'm pushing for this huge goal and this coach discount would be an awesome setup for you. You're loving Shakeology. It would be the perfect situation for you. It would also help me hit this awesome goal in my business. And people who loved me and cared about me and wanted to support me, my dirt list, if you guys have read Get Over Your Damn Self, great book. But she calls it her dirt list. People that would buy dirt from you, like they just love you, they want to support you, that they would do anything to help you grow in your new venture. Those people were the ones who signed up as discount coaches, and some of them ended up sticking around and seeing me do big things in my business, and they turned into working coaches. So, okay. It's like such a mixed message, you guys. Some of you can't hear and some of you can hear. So, so dirt list people. And then also when you have that goal and know what you need to do, and if maybe it's rank advancing and you really want to hit diamond, you really want to hit emerald, whatever your next step in your business is, contact those dirt list people, contact those customers where really a setup like that is going to help them just as much as it's going to help you. Speak from the heart and be super honest. And your calendar and your to-do list. Like I am the perfect example of somebody who is not naturally organized. That's something that I'm working on all the time. Like for my whole life, that's just going to be my journey as an adult human on this planet, is I have to work at being organized. It's not something that comes naturally to me. So my calendar is like, I mean, it's everything. It's the brains behind my business. If it's not written down in my calendar, it doesn't exist. So that's super important to me. If maybe you're like a spreadsheet person and that's important for you, then do that. don't get so caught up in like what other coaches do and what works for them and their awesome like organization tips and all these things. If you try streak and it's totally over your head, abandon ship and go back to pen and paper. Like, do what works for you. There's going to be a million different options out there, but you got to do what works for you, and always work from a to-do list. Like, we know we can't advance and get to that next level if we don't have a plan, right? We've got to have it written down. The new BAT tracker, you guys, I have a group that's pushing for Diamond right now. They're using the BAT every single day. It's in the back office. It is so helpful and such an incredible tool. A lot of the people who I'm hearing from are like, oh my gosh, I'm using the BAT and I'm sponsoring coaches and I'm hitting Success Club just from this simple like breakdown of these daily behaviors that you need to be doing. So print those out, or maybe print it out, have it laminated so you can have your own personal little like whiteboard that you can check things off every single day with a dry erase marker. Like, so many different options. So number 2, create social media hype no matter your rank. Let me take a swig of water really quick. I had, let's see, mute all. Okay, guys, if you are not muted, make sure you do mute yourself. I had my sound muted, so I couldn't hear any background noise, which is probably a good thing, but sorry about the background noise, you guys. So number 2, create social media hype no matter your rank. You guys, this is something that I hear a lot. Like, well, I don't have a team, so how can I share rank advancement posts? How can I talk about like my team or like my coaching business when it doesn't really exist yet? And I know this is a tricky one, but you guys, if you are on this Zoom meeting right now, you belong to a team, and I'm willing to bet that your upline, whether it's upline, 5 levels up, who cares? If you are in a team page, you belong to a team, you're on this Zoom, somebody posted this Zoom meeting, so you knew to get on here. I am willing to bet that there are rank advancements within your big team page, however many levels up that is, every single Thursday. And guess what? You can post those. Like, I am giving you permission. If you did not know that, you can repost and say, hey, so-and-so on my team just rank advanced. Like, our team is growing so quick. It's so exciting to see. Can't wait to see who rank advances next week. I mean, just make it your own, hype it up about your teammates. Like, it doesn't have to just be your personally sponsored coaches. I mean, don't say like, oh my God, my personally sponsored coach just hit Diamond. Obviously, you don't want to lie, but you can say your teammate, your friend, your sister from another mister, like whoever you want to shout out on your social media, do it. Create that social media hype. Share before and afters from your challengers, or maybe it's like other coaches on your team who are like, hey guys, I just finished lift 4, look at my results. Post it. I mean, like, these are things that you can share to create hype in your own business. You don't have to just sit back and wait until you're a Diamond coach, until you feel qualified or worthy to do that. Start today, day 1. It doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. Your team is your team to share. So shout those people out. Be talking about your business. Like I said, it's those little things. Like, for me, I remember walking into Whole Foods and just being like, I cannot wait to be able to just buy organic produce from Whole Foods. Like, something that seems so like whatever to some people who were already shopping at Whole Foods, like no big deal. To me, that felt like everything. And when that happened and I realized like, oh my God, I just walked into Sprouts or Whole Foods and I could buy all of my produce organic. Oh, I'm going to have to like mute it again. Okay, guys, stay muted. And with all that said, this is, I almost want to save this to the end, but maybe I'll circle back to it. So social media is like a whole nother story, right? So I think it is so important and something that I've never really heard talked about or taught. You guys hear about being interesting on social media and being interested and things like that. But I think that to be successful and to really level up your leadership, it is so important and crucial to be a combination of both, 50-50, interesting and interested. And we've all heard like the fake it till you make it, faith it till you make it, whatever you want to say. But like, it's got to be that you are so passionate about what you're doing that people are like, what is this girl doing? She's so happy. Like, I'm very interested in this because this girl is interested. And then to be equally interested in your prospects and who you're talking to. If you're super interested in your prospects, but then they go to your social media page and they're like, well, she's not really doing anything special. Like, I'm not, like, the feed is kind of a mess. Like, let's be honest, you guys, Instagram is kind of an instant gratification, very visual, aesthetically pleasing type of site, right? And if you haven't really delved into social media training, do that. Like, be a student of social media. Figure out like how you can make your feed aesthetically pleasing and interesting so that you're kind of that perfect balance of both. And then to have the beautiful social media feed, but you're not interested in your prospects, it's just, do you see what I'm saying? It's like either way, it's out of balance. So you've got to be that perfect marriage of both interested and interesting. So that I feel like I said, Instagram and social media is a whole beast that we could dive into, but there's so many trainings of like social media pros and the Beachbody challenge, oh my gosh, why can't I talk? Champions, Beachbody Champions page that you guys can go and just really be a student of social media, and also pay attention to people who are not necessarily Beachbody coaches, people who are doing social media, like blowing it up, like bloggers, influencers, other fitness influencers on social media. See what they're doing, like really be a student, like I've said. So number 3, create fun and fresh ideas. And again, this can start from day one. Okay, when I was a newer coach and my coach told me, hey, you hit Success Club every month, you're a diamond. So let's pretend we're all diamonds on this call. You're a diamond and some of your coaches are hitting Success Club too. You should go for Elite. Now, if you guys don't really know what Elite is, again, there's probably a bunch of YouTubes because that's a whole nother loaded topic. But my planted that seed with me when I was a brand new coach. I had no idea what that meant. But she said, well, you really just need your coaches to continue hitting Success Club. And I was like, all right, easy enough. And I was like, how am I going to do that? So as a brand new coach in my first few months of the business, I was like, how can I make Success Club fun for my coaches? And I know how important this is for my business and how it's built my paychecks and how it's built my customer list and built my residual income. So I'm super passionate about Success Club, 100% non-negotiable for me from day one. And so I know it's that important. I know my coaches need to know about that, but how can I make it fun? So I was going to the Target dollar section and picking up cute water bottles and notebooks and cute pens, things like that, that I could invest into my business. Even as a newer coach, I was maybe coming out of pocket like $25. I mean, and then eventually you guys can build to a point where you're being able to spend $20 per person if you want to. But I'm just saying it doesn't have to be like a break the bank thing, but to level up to that next level, no matter where you're at in your business, think of those types of things, those incentives, those fun things you can do for your team as your team is growing as an investment back into your business. You want to grow. Sometimes that requires us to stretch a little bit. And so those are some of those things that I was doing in my first year. Themes for challenge groups, even for the whole team. I remember back when I was a new coach, we did like, we're coming up on spring break here in the next few months. A lot of us are getting ready to go on the cruise. We were doing a bikini body boot camp, or bikini booty boot camp, I think is what it was called. And we hyped that up. Somebody created a not so cute flyer because our graphic design skills have improved a ton since those days. But we all shared the same flyer, hyped it up like crazy all over social media. I think back then it was mainly Facebook. And we just blew it up and we all invited together. We did follow-ups together. We ran the group together and it was so much fun. The theme was, bikini boot camp. So I think we were all doing Brazil butt lift. It was super fun. And those types of things really, really were exciting and fun. And we even did like sorry, I'm seeing questions. We even did like a little black dress challenge. I think that was maybe closer to the holidays, but things like that, you guys. I mean, every month is a new opportunity to keep things fresh and fun. And again, giving you permission, if you're waiting for your upline to run a group and you're like, I think I kind of want to do it myself, and you have the ability, grab a friend and run a group together. Think of a theme together. It's not scary, I promise. And my first challenge groups, they weren't awesome. Like they weren't awesome, although my challengers probably thought they were, but I felt like, oh man, I have so much to learn. But guess what? The more I did it and the more I stretched and put myself out there, the better they got and the more confident I got. So I stuck with it and they got better and better. And so the same will happen for you. And the same goes for sneak peek groups. Like the first time you run one, the first time I ran one, I think I was like 3.5 or 4 years into the business because nobody had thought about it before. And then all of a sudden there was this sneak peek or glimpse into coaching concept. And we were like, oh my God, that's brilliant. So the first time I ran one, I was a, veteran coach. I had been around for a while and I had no idea what I was doing because it was the first time. So your first time might be on day one. Your first time might be, after 3 years of being a coach. No matter what, ripping that Band-Aid off and doing it for the first time yourself is a little scary. But once you do it, you get more and more confident. And guess what? Other people start to see that confidence. Like, oh, so-and-so's doing this thing again. Like, like maybe I should check it out. So again, having your face up there, there's nothing like that. And really like establishing that leadership, no matter your level, it's scary at first, but it's so good. And I promise you guys, it'll feel so liberating once you try it for your first time. Also treating every month like Team Cup. Gather some of your friends. Maybe it's people within your big downline. So maybe you don't have a big team yet. Maybe you really, really want to grow and learn from some other people. Grab a pod of people. Have like a little Instagram DM pod. Have a Facebook private message pod or a text thread. Like whatever you guys want to do, grab like 5 friends and have your own Team Cup month every month and just treat it like Team Cup. So we're all in Team Cup month right now. Hopefully everybody is pushing for Success Club because like I said, non-negotiable, always in my business. And I always hope to teach that to others. But every month should be like Team Cup. We should all be pumped to hit Success Club and be learning from each other and sharing best practices. And number 4, so I'm going to level up with you as we're leveling up our leadership. Always assess. So I love to kind of assess the situation. I feel like as a leader, you sort of grow into having a feel for like what your team needs, like what's going on. Let me assess the situation and being proactive versus reactive. So I'm going to dive a little deeper into this. So adopting a leader mindset, I believe is crucial. And again, you guys, I keep saying like this can be from day one as a brand new coach or all the way up into the Star Diamond ranks. That leader mindset is somebody who's like, let me log into my back office and see what's going on. If you guys have not spent very much time in your Coach Online office, I invite you to log in tonight and poke around and see what's up in there. Check out who's in your downline. Maybe you're like, I have people in my downline in the graphical genealogy. Who are these people? I have not sponsored them. That is a great question for your coach. And those are people who count toward your team volume. Like these are things that you're growing your team. You sponsor those people and you're seeing them underneath you. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And super important to kind of know what's going on. To always know what's going on in your business. So you guys, even as a newer coach, I remember logging into the back office every day. Every single day, I was checking my Coach Online office because I wanted to know if there was a new order being placed, if somebody returned something, if a coach was going inactive, if a downline coach had a return that I needed to know about. These are things that also matter as you're advancing your rank. If you have a coach that's 2 levels down from you under your maybe personally sponsored Emerald coach, who's about to go inactive, guess what? Your coach is about to lose their Emerald rank and you're about to lose your Diamond rank. These are all things that a leader, no matter the level, is checking on and being one step ahead of. So like I said, being proactive instead of reactive, instead of like, oh crap, it's Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. and people are having dinner and I'm just now noticing that someone's about to go inactive tomorrow and so-and-so and I are going to lose our rank. These are things that probably should have been realized on Monday. I remember when I was in like year 1, year 2 of my business, Wednesdays, I was all in. Like I didn't schedule appointments on Wednesdays. I made sure I didn't plan day trips to the zoo, just things like that. Like really adopting that leadership mindset, that leader mindset, and knowing I'm in the trenches. Like Wednesday is go time day. And I've got to make sure that if there's anything that I need to take care of, I am present. I'm treating this like a business, and it's paying me like a business because of the time and the effort that I'm putting in. So Wednesdays, you guys know that's the close of the Beachbody week. The next day is payday. If there was anything that I needed to help with as my team grew, I needed them to know that I was there for them on Wednesdays. So something to think about. Maybe don't schedule your hair appointment on Wednesday at 4 p.m. if you're in a qualification period or something like that. Check downline daily. I talked about that. Like logging in, like just getting comfy with the back office in general, poking around. It's changed in the last couple of years. If you're a new coach, you don't even know what craziness we had to deal with a couple years ago. It's beautiful now. It's very user-friendly. And it's really important to know your way around back there. And know your team's goals, like your personally sponsored coaches' goals. I think that's super important. The people who are discount coaches, who are pushing for really, really big ranks, they are all equally important. And a discount coach who's maybe your 8th coach as you're trying to hang on to your diamond rank is equally as important as a working coach in your business. So making sure you're meeting your coaches where they're at, meeting your downline coaches where they're at, and really knowing what they want out of this business is super important. So ask those questions. Be that leader who kind of digs in, whether you're a brand new coach or an emerald coach. It's really important to know those things. So the last thing that I'm going to leave you guys with, and I talked to my Push to Emerald or Push to Diamond group about this last week, it is so important, okay, to know why you're doing this, right? We can be like, yeah, I'm going to level up. Like I'm ready to take it to that next level. I want to be a diamond coach, but why? Do you know why you're pushing for that goal? Do you know why you're here? Is your reason and your why to level up so big that it makes you get out of bed in the morning with passion inside of you, burning so big that you cannot even sleep some nights? And if the answer to that is no, I don't really know why I'm doing this, then you've got to find it, you guys. You cannot level up and go to that next level in your business unless you know what you're fighting for. So for me, I was fighting. Like I was fighting for my life, my family's life. It was a why that was so big, it kept me up at night sometimes. It made me wake up before my kids woke up because I needed this to work so badly. I was willing to do whatever it took. And I know that there are some coaches listening right now who are like, that's me. That's me. Like I need this to work. I feel this fire in my gut and I'm ready to do this. Then girlfriend or boyfriend, maybe if there are guys on, it's time. Like you got to go, you got to run with that. And maybe for you, it's an income thing. For me, it was definitely financial. I know a lot of people are afraid to say that. But for me, it was like, I needed to provide for my family. I needed to get us out of debt. I needed to like recover our credit, and buy a second car because we were all sharing one car at one point. And that was crazy. Just so many things that I was like, I want to have a roof over our head one day. I want to be able to pay this forward to other people who I know need a roof over their head. Like those kind of things were burning so big inside my belly. And you guys, you've got to find your thing. So whether it's financial, maybe it's the community, maybe you're like, I need this. Like, this is my lifeline. This is my sanity. These people like keep me from whatever, right? Like I've been there in the throes of depression and anxiety. I know sometimes that this is like our lifeline, right? Maybe it's that community. Like I live for the trips. I live for Summit. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's the fitness. Like maybe you're like, I am so passionate about the results that I've gotten that I've got to help other people do this. Then let it be so big that you can't sleep and you can't think of anything else. So obviously have your life outside of Beachbody, but if this is your thing and you know why you're doing this so clearly, then it is time to level up. So, okay, let me see if there's any, I'm like out of breath right now. Sometimes that happens. Okay, guys, financial for sure. You guys, this opportunity is so incredible and you have to have full on belief in this, and that will spill over like out of you into other people. They're going to see that passion. Even when I was making $100 a week, maybe even less some weeks, all the way up to like $200 a week to $500 a week, every single milestone it was spilling out of me because I saw it. I saw when those checks came in. I remember in my first 3 months, I was like, oh my God, I just made $32 from somebody whose Shakeology went back through. Like, that's crazy. Like, that was helpful. That went toward groceries for our family. So let that fuel your fire. Like, let that be the starting point for you, and stop playing small, like, for real. Like, stop not believing big enough. And I feel like I could just keep on going on and on and on. So do you guys have questions? Did I miss any questions before? I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys like took notes. I'm like, you guys are so funny chit-chatting together. It makes me happy though. Do you go live for the sneak peek? It's whatever. Like, I think this week I'm going to do a live on Instagram. I don't know. I'm going to try that out. I don't know. It's different every time. I like to keep it fresh. I do have a sneak peek in a coaching group where we've done like posts, you know, with texts and pictures and things. We've gone live, done a combo of both, or done all of one thing. I've done YouTube webinars, all things like that. I think just whatever feels good to you, do that, and don't be afraid to switch it up and keep it fresh. Within social media, should we delete old posts within social media if they didn't have lots of traction, or isn't it? I don't know. I mean, like, if you scroll all the way back through my Instagram, you would be like, whoa, she has come a long way. So I don't know. I think it's cool to have those old posts there. I don't think you need to delete necessarily. Good idea. Okay. You guys, I don't see any pressing questions. Oh, wait. Okay, here's some down below. Did you have a difficult time getting your challengers to participate and engage in your groups? I mean, yeah, even still, there are people who kind of stay quiet. I think one thing that could maybe be helpful is ask them before they get into the group, what's the best way for us to communicate? Would you like me to text you once a week to check in on you? Is the group sufficient? Do you feel like, you know, ask those questions like, how can I help you best? Do you like a Zoom meeting? So maybe those are things that you can kind of adjust. And so if you have a lot of challengers who are like, yeah, can you text me every couple days just to check on me? There's actually texting apps, you guys. And if you're using the tracker app, you can message your people through the tracker app. It sends a little push notification to them. But there's group texting apps that you can get where they don't see that they're also being texted the same thing as somebody else. Does that make sense? It'll send like an individual text to multiple people. So you can just do like weekly or daily check-ins just to kind of stay up on people. So maybe it's just time to kind of freshen it up, and maybe they just need a different way to engage. Okay. Megan, my IG needs help. What filters do you use to make yours look pretty? Oh my gosh, go on Etsy. There's like a million presets you can buy. Presets are kind of the thing right now. They're cheap. You can buy one for like under 10 bucks, and it'll come with instructions on how to use it. I use a preset. I edit with the preset in Lightroom, which is also an app if you guys have a smartphone. Let me drink while I'm reading. Okay, helpful. Thank you. I'm glad to know that. Fun group names for spring. I don't know. I need to think of one. Tracker app, the Beachbody Tracker app, Sandra. It's a great app. Just, you can type it in Google, Beachbody Tracker app. I can't think of the website right now. It's probably just Tracker app or something like that, Beachbody Tracker. But you can download the app, and as a coach, you can control the group from like a panel. Anyway, I'm losing all my words right now. I can't talk anymore. Color story for editing. Spring into fitness, cute idea. My challenge tracker, thank you. Do you do monthly challenge groups or one big accountability group? I personally have an ongoing one right now, but I think it's time to freshen it up. Like I said, it's just always like changing and evolving. My coaches and I decided like every quarter we would kind of reassess, and we're coming up on that time where I think it's time to refresh and start a new a new place to go. So I think that's important. Like if you feel like, oh, it's kind of low energy, it's time to freshen up. So always like take the pulse of the group, whether it's your team or your challengers. Okay, you guys, honestly, I could literally talk to you all night. Yeah, new one every quarter, Katie, I like that idea. Okay, if anybody doesn't have any last minute, like very important questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. And I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for being so fun and engaging. I love that. It makes me happy to see the chat section pop in. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I will get this recording shared ASAP, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a good night, you guys.